Newcastle are in a relegation battle. Relegation must be avoided at all cost, as that would ruin this takeover. Newcastle came into this window with multiple needs to have a chance to avoid relegation. This winter, in my opinion, they brought in enough talent to stay in the Premier League, and they will avoid being relegated this season. So let's look at their winter transfer business during this transfer window. Firstly, let's look at what they needed to bring in before this window. Newcastle had 6 needs going into this window. Firstly, they needed depth at striker, especially with Wilson out with injury. Secondly, they needed a midfielder that was excellent at progressing the ball up the pitch. Thirdly, they needed a right back that was good enough going forward but not a liability in defense. Fourthly, they needed a left back with the same attributes as their new right back. The fifth need was a solid defensive center back that could help alleviate the amount of goals Newcastle were conceding. The sixth and final need was a ball-playing center back that could progress the ball up to pitch and complement their other center back addition. This window filled almost every one of these needs, making it an almost perfect transfer window. So who did they bring in? Firstly, they brought in Kieran Trippier. He is a 31-year-old right back that was brought in from Atletico Madrid. He was the most obvious addition Newcastle could make. They needed a veteran presence on their backline that could help aid in the attack and defense. And he fit Newcastle's need for a solid right back. Newcastle, before this move, had to rely on players such as Manquillo, Clark, and Jacob Murphy for their right back position, and these players were all below average Premier League players. Bringing in Trippier was an amazing upgrade to any of them, and one that will be crucial for Newcastle to stay in the Premier League. He also can be a crucial player in his free kick and corner taking ability, giving Newcastle a more cutting edge in those parts, and this was shown against Everton with his free kick goal. This was a no-brainer addition that had to be done, and this was an amazing first transfer of their new ownership. The second transfer they made was to bring in Chris Wood. They activated the 30-year-old striker's release clause from Byrne. He fits Newcastle's need of striker depth with Wilson's injury. At first, this seemed to be an excellent move, as they took away Burnley's best finisher to hurt them in their relegation battle, and they brought in a striker that would be a good fit and excellent veteran presence. This only led to Burnley making a better transfer, bringing in Wout Weghorst for half the price. To me, this was Newcastle's worst move of this window. However, overall, it is still a decent move. However, there were much better options out there that they should have tried to bring in instead of him, such as Luis Muriel, Duvan Zapata, or Paul Anuachu. This move is not disastrous, however, as they got a player that has proven to be able to score goals at this level and could help be a target man when this team needs it, but I think there were better options. The third transfer they made was to bring in Bruno Gumirez. They bought the 24-year-old midfielder from Lyon, and this was a statement move by Newcastle. This was arguably the best move by any club this entire window. He fits Newcastle's major need of finding a midfielder that can progress the ball up the pitch and be a solid defender as well, and his stats show it at Lyon. Going into this transfer window, many people believed that Newcastle would only be able to attract players that were aging and veteran presences that would help them stay in the league. Nobody expected a player of Gumirez's ability to choose Newcastle, yet he did. A player that was wanted by Arsenal and even some clubs in the Champions League chose to go to a relegation battle with Newcastle, proving that money does indeed talk. This will be a move remembered for a long time at Newcastle, and he will be a key piece to this new regime, probably helping this club reach Premier League heights and even beyond in the future. This was their best transfer move. The fourth transfer was an overall solid move, and that is bringing in Byrne. They bought the 29-year-old defender from Brighton to fix their center back woes. He fits the need of a solid center back presence that Newcastle needed. They have given up way too many goals and needed to stop them, and he is a player that will aid in that. At Brighton, he has been one of their better players, and has been one of the better center backs in the entire league this season. He is a dominant aerial defender with solid defensive talent and ground duels. He is also not horrible on the ball as well, as he rarely gives up possession easily. This is a move that Newcastle made to help them right now avoid the drop in the championship, and this was a really impressive signing. The fifth and final transfer move they made was bringing in Matt Targett. They loaned in the 26-year-old left back to help fix their left back issue. He fits the need as a left back that is good enough attacking and defending for this side. Jamal Lewis, Paul Dummett, and Matt Ritchie were not doing good enough for the club, and they needed a better left back, and he is better than all three of them. He may be a slightly above average Premier League left back, but that is all they need right now to avoid the drop. They avoided spending money on a left back and brought Targett in as a rental to help them avoid relegation, and this is just an overall solid move. He's a player that will allow Howe to play the way he wants to within his system, and he will not make stupid mistakes on the pitch. An overall solid move to make, and one that allows them in the summer to bring in a much better left back option, as just a rental move. My main issue with the transfer window is not getting their sixth need, which was a second center back, preferably one that is a solid ball playing defender. Playing Jamal Lascelles, Fabian Schär, or Kieran Clark every week as the second defender next to Dan Byrne is not the best option. For me, they needed to bring in another center back, someone like Nathan Ake, Nikolo Milenkovic, or Nico Schlotterbeck. That would have all been great options, or even loan in someone that was lacking playtime. If they were able to do this, then it would have been a perfect window for me. But that failure to do so makes it a very good transfer window instead of a perfect one. Overall, the 5 signings they brought in are clearly talented enough to help this team avoid relegation. They are a much better side than any of their relegation contenders, and now Eddie Howe must find a way to get enough points to stay in the top flight. They should now have enough talent to do so. So let me know in the comments if you think Newcastle will avoid relegation.